Hello, my friend. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing all right. And welcome back to Fantasy Turf War, the show where 64 teams go head to head to see who's the ultimate champion. We got another interview for you today. Today is Jonathan Mohan, it's affectionately known as T.I, for Titans Idiot and Sports Idiot Nation. And he'll explain the backstory there in the interview. But it was awesome to sit down with him and have a chat about his background and some of the things he's working on, one of which is a call to action for the entire league at the end of the episode, but you'll have to see exactly what that is at the end. And he had probably the most intriguing item I've seen so far in the interviews in terms of what is in his collection, we'll say. But I'll leave the interview to explain that one to you. But awesome guy, great conversation, and can't wait for y'all to meet him. He is the fourth interview coming down the pipe, and we're starting to really crank into these and starting to get to know all these teams, and they're all good people, and I'm really excited that you guys get to see what I see and what I've been working on for a while now. And I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it without further ado, but I did. Anyways, here's Jonathan T.I of Titans Idiot Nation. All right. Good afternoon, Jonathan. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, and I promise I'll only call you that once. I know we are to refer to you as T.I, so we'll make sure we get that one, but I want to make sure we got the right name off the bat. So welcome to the show. Welcome to Fantasy Turf War. It's a 64-team competition. It's a pretty serious thing to do, so welcome aboard.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited. This is awesome. Great idea. Great way to bring, businesses, social media influencers together and just have fun. Everybody loves fantasy football, and the stakes are high, 64 teams, four divisions. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's turned out to be something pretty cool. We've done this before, but not to this kind of scale. So seeing it expand and work, it's pretty interesting to see come together. So we're really excited over here at Fantasy Turf War as well. But yeah, enough about us. We want to learn about you. So Titans Idiot and Sports Idiot Nation. It's definitely a catchy name. I'm assuming you're a Titans fan, but we can cover that a little bit later. But tell us, how did that all start? Where did it come from? And then kind of how did you, get to this point today?
Sure, totally. Oh man, long story short, I mean, I grew up in a sports household. My grandfather attended the University of Auburn, so we grew up big college football fans, Southeastern Conference. Naturally, we never had a pro team, so when the Titans came to Nashville, it was just, it was just one of those things where at first it was kind of like a pipe dream. Like, is this real? We're really going to have professional football in Nashville. And then, it went to Memphis for a year, came here in Nashville, played at Vanderbilt for a year. First game I ever saw was a preseason game against the Redskins at Vanderbilt Stadium. If you've ever been to Vanderbilt Stadium, it's a very depressing stadium, so it's awesome to see how far the Titans have come, So with this whole Titans Idiot Nation thing, I've always loved pop culture, always loved comedy, always loved making people laugh. I always just love the communication factor, the connectivity, brings all walks of life, all people together. And so long story short, one day I'm just waiting to pick up my son at daycare. I was there a little early. It was the first week of the season. Titans had just lost opening game. I think it was the longest game in NFL history. It was postponed multiple times because of rain. Nobody wanted to even play at the end of the game. Long story short, Titans fans calling in the radio the next day, you'd think that we just lost the Super Bowl with a heartbreaking game call by the ref, and so I comically picked up my phone and just started kind of videoing and mocking and making up these calls. And I went home and threw it on my personal social media as a joke, came back a few hours later, and it had been shared just like thousands and thousands of times and had all these hits. And I was like, maybe I'm onto something,
Yeah.
And so I did that for a few weeks. And so, but you run out of, you can only do fake callers for so long. Right. And so then I naturally just started recapping the games. Then I started previewing the games, and I didn't even really know what I was doing. I just was doing something. It was fun for me. It was a chance for me to escape, a chance for me to have fun with the thing I love, football and sports and comedy. And never in a million years did I see it taking off. I thought maybe we might have a baker's dozen followers, might hit 100. might max out at 250, right?
Yeah.
And we just passed 30,000, which is crazy.
Wow.
So it's just one of those things to where we just kept touching across many different fan bases, many different aspects of sports. I would have people send me messages that aren't even Titans fans say, "Hey, I've just because of your page, I find myself sometimes rooting for you guys, and things like that." So, I'm just out here doing the Lord's work as a Titans fan, spreading the two-tone gospel.
Very cool.
But I had just worked hard at it and kept networking. Kept just keeping my nose to the grind and ignoring the comment section. I mean, I interact with everybody, but you got to just ignore negativity and move on. And that's what I embrace. Is like I try to build a positive community where we troll and have fun, but it's not a malicious or negative atmosphere by any means.
That's good. Yeah, it's always got to be in good fun. Otherwise, you lose sight of what the purpose was. And if you're a gluten for punishment, read the comment sections. Otherwise, you're better off just probably avoiding it. But no, I can get that. And so, man, those are back in the Air McNair days, right? So
Oh yeah,
that's a ways back, huh? That's
yeah.
cool.
I was there in the beginning. I was in attendance watching the Music City Miracle. I was with my best buds. I was 21 years old. We long story short, Jeff Fisher's secretary at the time was a bar regular. I was a bartender at Ruby Tuesday. All of us worked there, and we pretended to be her cousins from out of town. So she got us family tickets.
Nice.
So we had 10 rows back, sitting with the coaches' wives and families. We were on the 50-yard line. It was a magical experience. We got to go to the tunnel afterwards. We were
Oh
meeting the
man.
players. I was sharing the last of the buffet with Tony Dorsett because Anthony Dorsett played for the Titans at the time. I mean, it was just I met Eddie Money that day. I was like, Eddie Money. It was
Wow.
crazy.
That's crazy.
So yeah, I go way back, way back.
Yep. That's definitely like a once in a lifetime kind of opportunity. And yeah,
Oh,
I'm always up
yeah.
in the nosebleeds. I'm way back in usually in Chicago, so it's cold. And this is an old Soldier Field, so it's bad times, but good
Oh
times.
yeah.
All right, so I mean this with all sincerity, but you do have the word idiot in your name, and I wanted to make sure that we covered that so that I'm not being like I don't want to be perceived as just calling you an idiot. That's the title. That's Ti. So where does that come from?
Totally. Well, there's a couple things that go into play there. One, when I originally started doing this, I kind of created more of a character at first because I really, like I said, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't envision it becoming a sports community or platform. I envisioned it just me doing some stupid videos and maybe some people would laugh. And then as I started really diving deep into, I mean, not to take it to the next level, but the psyche of it, it's like, let's just take sports in general. I mean, we let we follow teams blindly. You go buy a jersey, you get a jersey for Christmas. The next season he's traded. We let teams in sports ruin our day. We let our obviously we are elated. We get excited. We have great. We let it make our days great when they win. But when they lose, some people won't even go out of the house. We just uh, to blindly follow a team and let a team control your emotions, we all have to be just idiots deep down, right? And that's kind of part of it too, is like to blindly follow a team, really not knowing what the intentions are behind the scenes, what's going on in the front office. Your favorite player's gone here today, gone tomorrow. We just keep on going on because why? We're just sports idiots. And with Titans Idiot Nation, it's like I was calling myself Titans Idiot. Then I started kind of picking up traction, and I was like, I don't want to refer to myself as idiot the whole time. So I started referring to myself as Ti because, again, I like to interweave pop culture, and I'm a big fan of 90s and early 2000s hip hop. So naturally, Ti was fitting. And so, yeah, there's a couple factors at play there. It's almost like choose your own adventure at that point, right?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And just want to clarify for the listeners at home that keep thinking I call you an idiot just out the gate, and it's like, no, it's part of the name. So
Cory, I didn't sign up for you to just keep calling me an idiot.
yeah,
This is not how I thought I'd be treated.
yeah, right. I promise Ti from here out. Ti it is. But speaking of Ti, we're also here because you're representing not just Ti, but you're also representing Si in Sports Idiot. So, what is the endeavor there that you're diving into? And tell us a little bit about that and what's different from what you're doing before, and kind of walk us through that.
Sure. Well, naturally, Titans Idiot Nation, I've used the platform. I put in the header. It's like, hey, we talk Tennessee Titans, but we have a whole lot of fun. We talk more than that. We talk comedy, pop culture. We talk sports. So, people know on the surface that, hey, it's more than just Titans. But when you get to a level to where our page is at, you kind of have to find a balance. And so, with that being said, I had already had this envision of kind of building a larger platform, the Sports Idiot Nation, to where I can kind of touch any avenue I want. If I want to talk about old 80s professional wrestling, if I want to talk about college dodgeball, that way without, alienating the Titans fans that originally are there to follow my page in general. Does that mean it's one of the things where, kind of cave into the masses and, people saying, oh, well, this is not Titans related? No, it's nothing to that extent. It's just me wanting to do more. And the Sports Idiot Nation platform originally was just going to kind of be the SIN network. We're kind of the Sports Idiot Nation network. And what we were going to do is just partner with other like-minded sports enthusiasts across the country and beyond that are doing things the way we do, weaving a little bit of comedy, hitting the X's and O's, but still more of a tangible personal level. But then Miles, who writes with me on the Titans Idiot Nation, and Adam, who, as you know, is involved in a lot of folks' podcasts, we started talking about, well, why don't we just really take this to a podcast level? And so we started kind of using the SIN Network social media to start to build that engagement, build that following. And then around August 1st, we're going to be launching our first episode. So where I've been building Titans Idiot Nation for the last like 6-7 years, the end of this season will be the 8th season I've done content. This is a new endeavor, but we've already partnered up with about 4 or 5 affiliates of people who I think are out there outworking me. And I joke all the time. I say you're going to need an 8th day of the week to outwork me. So that's just kind of my thing. And some folks inspire me. They're out there killing it in their own regard. I won't make any announcements here, obviously, because I'm going to save a big announcement for the page. But I'm excited about that. We're basically going to be partnering with affiliates all across the country in different areas, and they're going to be our, subject matter experts in a way. They may represent certain teams, they may represent conferences, but either way, everybody can get the same information from Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter or whoever, but it's boring, right? Everybody hears it. So why not have our relationship with our established, subject matter expert in that field or that area of the country or that sport, and give them a platform to be on our podcast, to be our affiliate, to kind of bounce in and out and talk and just build that relationship within our network to where people affiliate the two. And that's where this whole thing is beginning. We have larger aspirations, but that's where everything is at the beginning at the moment. So
Very cool, very cool, and I'm excited that Fantasy Turf War is as youthful as we are, so to speak, that we get to be part of that journey with you as you get ready to launch closer to football season here. So that's pretty exciting stuff, and we'll make sure we plugged everything. So it's cool, cool to see happen. Definitely cool.
yeah, sweet. Yeah, the timing of it's great. Lots of cool stuff going on both sides.
And I like the teaser of not going to tell you, but make sure you follow the page. So that's good. And all right.
Yeah, I'm a glutton for cliffhangers, so I like to share them with folks.
All right, so let's go ahead and switch gears here. We're going to start talking football, fantasy football. Fantasy Turf War is no joke. 64 teams, only 8 make the playoffs. Pretty intense competition. But you bring 14 years, 14 years to the table. So I think you're right about in the middle of the pack in terms of experience. But the question that I did not ask in all the preparations, but I kind of put people on the spot, is you have 14 years of experience, but how many championships do you have?
How many championships? That's a good question. Let's see. I've got, my main league. I have 7 first place trophies. I had to look at my Yahoo profile, but I have probably about 5 second place trophies and maybe three third place trophies, but I've got 7 first place. And they're all in 14 to 12 team leagues, mostly 14 team leagues. So, with some serious competition, my one league is my favorite league. It's all my friends from college and high school. We've been together forever. and it's tough. And I've only won that league one time, but I am so damn happy I won that league. we have a Lombardi that we engrave our names on and everything, so it's awesome. That's the one that you want, right?
Yep, that is true. Yeah, we've got some cool prizes coming up for our league as well. So I'm excited to start announcing some of that stuff too. So,
but yeah, I'm a formidable opponent, I will say.
So 7 out of 14, like that's pretty good odds. It's every other year you're winning a championship. So, it's
now
good,
I am in more than one league. I am in more than one league, but I only play in 3 leagues, and I've only been playing in those 3 leagues like for the last 10 years plus. The other league, or no, the last 5 years plus. The other league I've been playing in for 15 years. So this will be the 15th year.
Okay, fair enough. So, you definitely have what it takes to make the playoffs, and you've seen what championship looks like, so you know what it takes and what's at stake. So you're in good company. I think a lot of the common perception, or the common I don't know, perception is the wrong word, but the common agreement is you just don't want to lose this league. Like, not winning, okay, that's fine, because 64 teams, you don't want to lose. So, those punishments are not going to be fun.
You don't want to be the worst of 64. Yeah, you don't want to be number 64 of 64.
Yeah, and sometimes that, some every league's different, but some leagues are just runaways where they've had it the whole time. But it's usually the bottom of it is like, I really, really don't want to lose because I don't want to spend the next 24 hours in IHOP. So yeah, it's always fun to watch.
Yeah. Woo! Ooh, thought of those pancakes is just right now making me nauseous.
And I think, I guess technically we haven't announced our punishments yet, so TBD on that. But that is something we've done before. Is 24 hours in IHOP. That's brutal. Oh, yeah. As long as I'm good with IHOP because it's free food, but I don't think I could do the awkward outfit in public thing. That's a little weird. It's probably too far for me. So that's motivation enough to stay on top of it.
So. Yeah, I guess it just depends, right? Depends on what it is, All
right. So you're obviously your favorite team is the Titans. So that grew with you just out of where you're based. Were you a fan of anything beforehand, or was it just you never really, got into football until the Titans picked up, or how did that work?
Yeah, no, actually, so when I was younger, like I said, my grandfather went to Auburn. I grew up, we were big college football fans. I would go to Super Bowl parties and stuff. There's a lot of times when the Bills were playing, Bills and Giants a lot, the Bills, 3 straight Super Bowls, so it was like that whole time frame. And I would watch it, but I was younger, and I just really, to me, I mean, maybe it was just me being used to the college scene, but to me, it was just different. And I was just kind of like, it was a little less organic to me. And at a young age, like, I felt like I connected more. Maybe it was the fact that people on TV looked older than my parents, and the people on watching college football looked a little bit older than me. Maybe that had something to do with it, right? But as I got older, I didn't really have a team. I kind of adopted the Green Bay Packers for about 5 years, I guess, just kind of, yeah, you're up there in Chicago. Yeah, I kind of worked at a grocery store, stacking groceries, and they would let people wear jerseys, and everybody, wear their jerseys in. And one day in the break room, everybody was watching, highlight or watching the playoffs, and they were all just, and I was just sitting there watching with them. It was a Packers game, and they were all bad mouthing Brett Favre, and he was just tearing it up, and I was just like, I don't know, man, that guy looks pretty good. I guess I like them, And, then they won the Super Bowl, I think the next year or 2 years after or whatever. So it was like, for a few years, I was kind of heavily involved with them. But I think it was more so really just watching Brett Favre than it really was the team, because he was just fun to watch.
Yeah,
I know he's, not a very popular figure, but he was, he was fun to watch, man. Dude never missed a start. He was tough as nails,
Yeah, he's definitely fun to watch. And definitely one for the history books for sure. Like, like the team or not, like, there is talent out there that you just can't ignore, and he was one of those for sure.
Yeah, but once you, like I said, man, once you witness some of those games in person, once you witness the Music City Miracle live, like, you're hooked. You're like, I don't care about watching any other team on TV. Like, I want to watch this team live in my city every Sunday.
Yep. So you said you're Auburn. So I lived in Columbia, South Carolina for a good while, and so it was a very big USC town. And then if you went 5 miles west, there's a big Clemson town. So it's kind of like when I lived in Chicago, where you didn't necessarily have to be a Bears fan; you just had to hate Auburn. So I feel like there's a little bit of bad taste there, but we'll probably let it slide.
Yeah, sure. I get it, man, for sure. I always tell people who aren't fans of Auburn, at least we can share the same sentiment about Alabama.
That is true.
Unless you're an Alabama fan. But if you are not an Alabama fan and you're not an Auburn fan, then I know you still hate Alabama.
It's bad when there's a traveling store that just follows Alabama that just sells beat Alabama merchandise. So, I think, everyone can rally around that. So, all right, we're on the same team again. All right. So let's switch it into overtime. So the way we do it here at Fantasy Turf 4 is we ask 3 questions to the same 3 teams. So we ask 3 questions to every team, and it's just off-the-wall questions, no preparation, no study guides, and I have to preface this now with no math because it worries people sometimes. So no math, but just see how you react. So question number 1, do you believe in aliens?
I do believe in aliens. I do.
Okay.
Ancient Aliens is my jam.
All right. Fair enough.
I mean, a guy, a lot of people say I look like that guy. I used to have my hair grow out, We're not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens.
Right. Can't say it's not aliens. You never know.
That's right.
All right. Question number 2. What is the most unusual item in your office or setting, and what is the story behind it?
Oh, man. In my office, see, I am right now in my setting. I have recently built this setting in my kind of storage barn so I could do podcasts at night because unfortunately my office in my house is right next to my child's bedroom and it just did not work because it's like, hey, I'm going live on a podcast at 9:30 right when he's going to bed. Yeah, it doesn't really work out, right? So out here, oh my God, man. I'll show you right here. Hang on. Have this guy here, right here. This guy. This is me waiting for the Titans to win a Super Bowl, But no. So how did this guy come about? This is like I said, I'm in the storage barn. So this is one of our Halloween decorations here.
All right. Fair enough.
Mr. Bones is his name. Mr. Bones. I accidentally broke his arm the other day, so he's armless. He won't hurt you. He's armless.
Yeah. Nice.
That's a dad pun right there. It's a nice dad pun. We'll be here all night.
I was gonna say it's a flesh wound, but yours is better, so that works.
But I mean, there's tons of stuff in here. But I mean, in my office in the house, oh man, I'm a retro video game collector. I have so much crazy stuff. I could pull out some crazy stuff. I have this is pretty cool. I have an autographed copy of the original Ninja Turtles Nintendo game. It's autographed by Kevin Eastman, who is the co-creator of the Ninja Turtles. So
very
cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So, but man, I've got tons of weird stuff, But
yeah, so I think that you can see my background. I've got tons of also weird stuff in here. So yeah, we're in similar territory, and I think hopefully my wife isn't watching because I'm a little worried that I'm going to get moved out to another building if she finds out that that's a possibility. So I'm going to lose my office here, and I like my office. So,
well, if you have a storage shed, you might want to burn it down tonight. That way, it's not an option.
I've got a garage. It's kind of hot out here. So, all right. So, question number 3, and this one can be taken as sentimental or as comedic or whichever way you want to. All right. Imagine you can send a message to the entire world, and the entire world will be listening for the next 30 seconds. What would you tell them?
I would tell them that it's real important to be nice to each other, but it's more important to know that I just threw my hat in the running for the Titans NFL Fan of the Year. So I appreciate everybody's support this year. And if you want to be nice to people, that's great too, but it's more important to make sure that you vote for me for Titans Fan of the Year.
All right, let's hit on that.
Just hit both avenues there, right?
Yeah, great message. Yeah. Be nice to people. Let's get back to talking about that. So what is Titans Fan of the Year, and how can we help? Is there a voting process? Tell us what we need to do.
Yeah, so it's new to me. Every year I talk myself out of it. I'm always like, there's people more deserving. There's friends of mine that are running. There's people that I support running, and that the last 2 years in a row are people that are big supporters of what I do. Have been fans of the year. So, naturally that's a little warranted. But I've been creating content for this will be 8 years. At the end of the season, I'll have made over 150 episodes of Titans Idiot
Wow.
Nation. Close to probably 250 videos of content. I've got the following, built up. I just have a great community. I just said, hey, now's the time. So, from my understanding, when they open up the opportunity to nominate, you just have to go on NFL.com and nominate yourself, and they do all the checks and all that. Or people can nominate you. But once you get approved, I think then they allow people to vote. And then once I guess they get a tally of the top however many for each team, the teams hold their individual voting and yeah, and then in the end, they kind of send everybody NFL honors, and they have a big celebration. And I know last year they sent them to the Super Bowl, and they make a big deal. They give some people get opportunities to announce draft picks, and
That's cool.
and I just embraced this team for so many years, and I always tell myself, you know, I'm silly. I make people laugh. Whatever. Share memes. Fart jokes. Like whatever. However people perceive it is fine. But I've worked real hard to build a community of Titans fans and to network with other Titans content creators. And we're a small market team. And what I've kind of urged people is that, hey, we're not in competition with each other. We're all doing something different. We're all doing something better than the next. And we all can do something better, and we can learn from each other. And so I've just over time built this kind of respect and establishment in the community of kind of a vocal aspect of the team. And I just am like, why not me? I know there's more people probably more deserving, but I'm just as deserving. So why not? So there you go. So as I find out more about the process, of course, I'm going to let people know because, I'm super excited about it. I've put myself out there for years, but when you put yourself out there on this level, the boost of confidence I got from the announcement video yesterday was great. I mean, I released a video yesterday at 9 a.m. and it got almost 6,000 views, and and the reception was just fantastic. So that gave me that extra boost of confidence where I feel like I've made the right decision at the right time, So I'll definitely
Perfect.
let you know on that because, yeah, however you guys can promote will be fantastic.
Yeah, I say we have an obligation. I feel like to rally with our league, so we will be rooting for you heavily. I do believe you're the only Titans fan, so there's no conflict of interest. But so
Yeah.
yes, we'll have to stay in touch and make sure that we've got all of the information. So you've been officially approved, but we don't know if any sort of official voting has started.
Well, no, once they haven't allowed you to actually apply yet. I have
Okay,
just made the decision that I'm applying, because like I said, every year I talk myself out of it. But ultimately in the end, there's a representative for each team, and they send all 32 of them together, and it's just a cool experience that I just like one of those life once in a lifetime experiences that hey, why not? What's the worst
yeah,
that could happen? I don't win, right? I
true.
mean,
Yeah,
big deal,
so I think
right?
that's even
So
better then, right? So if it hasn't even opened yet,
yeah.
so that I think now we've got a commitment that you're going to do it. We're going to be there behind you, and we're going to pull the entire league to make sure that this is something that happens for you, and we'll make it happen. So yeah,
That's
we'll
awesome.
be in the loop, and we'll help you every way we can. So that'd be really cool to see be a part of that. All right.
Awesome. Well, yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, yeah, I'm excited for you. That's pretty cool. I don't think I'd ever win my Raiders. I mean, I'm a fan, but I don't know if I'd ever rise to that level. That'd be awesome, but I don't think so. Um, but you definitely have the threshold. I think you should make the effort. Make the world tell you no is what I usually tell people. So go for
Hey, Raiders Idiot Nation has a nice ring to it, you
it.
know.
It does. Rin almost. Yeah.
Well, you know.
All right. Well, I think you are definitely a team to watch this year, and I wish you the best in the league. Again, it is a significant achievement to win, but I think it's also an equally significant thing to just make the playoffs. So I wish you the best in making that endeavor the top eight, and I wish absolutely for you to not lose. I don't want that on anybody, but I mean, at the end of the day, someone's got to take it. But hopefully, it's not you.
Hmm.
So.
Yeah, I hope I'm definitely not losing either because I will never hear the end of it from my fan base. So,
Well, hopefully they've determined the fan of the year before the end of the season, or like before playoffs have kind of been figured out. So like that's not a part of it. We got to make sure it's represented equally here. So we'll have to keep an eye
Yeah,
on that.
I think it checks out. I think it checks out. I think they end it. I think they like close the polls like in where they make the decision by like mid-October,
Oh, okay.
because they always have the fan of the year, I think, in one of the last home games as well, across the NFL. It's kind of
Okay.
like I think a orchestrated event type deal.
Very cool.
So, because they've been doing this for a few years, they've been doing it for at least 4 or 5 years, I think.
Okay.
So they've got it down a little bit, so there's a process.
Very cool. Well, we'll be there for you rooting, and it looks like now that that's not a factor if you make the playoffs. I think the pressure's off a little bit there. And yeah, so Ti, where can people follow you? Keep up to date with your journey to Fan of the Year and everything Ti and Si related. Where can people find you at?
Sure. Yeah, well, we're on all social media platforms, of course. Facebook is where I do the most damage in Titans Idiot Nation. We're playing catch up on a lot of other social media platforms, Instagram, X, TikTok. But we're still hitting the content every day. It's just that probably where you're going to find the most interaction with followers is going to be on the Facebook page. So I always recommend people check us out there first. Sin, on the other hand, we are building that on all the networks as we go. Like I said, we're going to be going live with the podcast in August. We're going to be going live on Sunday nights around 9:30, and then we're going to be airing another episode on Thursdays. We're going to be, approaching it from two different aspects. Pop culture, movies, sports, comedy, like just everything. It's not going to be just telling you stats from last night's game. If we want to debate why, the best Batman, or if we want to debate our top 5 MCU movies, or what flavor is the best Pop-Tart, that's the whole point. You may tune in Sunday night and we may hit you with some great sports content, and then you may tune in Thursday and be like, what are these guys talking about? And that's the beauty of it. It's kind of like Seinfeld, right? It's a podcast about nothing and everything all at the same time.
There you go. So you brought it up.
So yeah, so yeah, you can find Sin and on all TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X. We don't have a website yet for that. I do have a Titans Idiot Nation website where you can buy merch and stuff. You can get up to date news. You can watch all episodes from past seasons. And then I'm on YouTube, of course, naturally. That's kind of where I'm not as active throughout the off season as I am on Facebook. Just because I'm more so during the regular season is kind of where I do my work on YouTube. So a little all over the place, but usual suspects where you can find me.
Very cool. And so you brought it up, and I think, and I believe Adam brought it up in his interview too. But since you asked, who's your favorite Batman?
Who's my favorite Batman? Oh, that's tough. I grew up in the 80s. I love Michael Keaton. I do. I love Batman Returns. Batman Returns is probably my favorite Batman movie. But, I really think Christian Bale did wonders, man. I really do. A lot of people kind of knock on him, but he made it so back to being mainstream and universal for folks. Like, Batman was kind of a joke.
Yeah.
And he made it serious again. Like when I first saw Batman Begins, I stood up and clapped at the end. I was like, finally we're back, So, but I like them all. I even thought Val Kilmer was fine. Sometimes it's like, who's the better Bruce Wayne? Not really Batman, right? Like, okay. I thought Val Kilmer was a good Bruce Wayne, right? Like, he was good, but it's kind of tough. Wish you could have both. Because like Michael Keaton to me is a terrible Bruce Wayne. He's just so non-believable, But as a Batman, his Batman is great. But yeah, he's just like, his Bruce Wayne is just like this kind of clumsy kid kind of guy. Like, hey, what's going on? It just doesn't come across as this playboy billionaire,
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, and that's an interesting piece of it. I've never asked the question and someone broke it down that way, where it's a Bruce Wayne or Batman. I do agree that Michael Keaton is probably the best, and Christian Bale would probably be my number 2. And I think Bruce Wayne, Val Kilmer did a good job. I think we can all agree the suit from George Clooney probably was a mistake.
The nipples were great.
Yep, that was it.
Great. And the butt shot was very
yeah.
unnecessary. I don't know what that was about. It was very, very weird. Joel Schumacher was having a little too much fun there.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
But yeah, it's like I've kind of I had this conversation with somebody once, and I said that's the thing about Batman is like a lot of people think like, oh, you're casting for Batman, but you're really casting for Bruce Wayne, because once you put on the cowl and the suit, as long as they can make their voice a little heavy and they can have the right stunt doubles, movie magic will do the rest, right?
Yeah.
But if you have just an unbelievable, like George Clooney was not a good really either. He wasn't a good Bruce Wayne or a good Batman. He was just kind of there at the time. He was like, hey, let's get this guy from ER that all the girls like, and let's make him Batman.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I often hear that conversation when it comes to Spider-Man. Who's a good Peter Parker and who's a good Spider-Man? And I think there's good arguments for both. I think what's his name? The newest one, not Garfield, not Toby. I forget his name.
Oh,
that's horrible. Tom Holland.
Yeah,
there we go.
Tom Holland. There you
Tom
go.
Holland. I think he's the best of both.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I'm pretty happy
excellent.
with this.
He's great. I've enjoyed those movies. I hope they continue making those well. But yeah, he's really good, and I think he's the best. I agree. Andrew Garfield was kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
And Tobey Maguire's fine, but he's just it doesn't really work anymore. I thought the last one was fine, but it was a nice fan service moment. But I was like, all right, let's move on from this.
Yeah,
I don't need all three of them. Just give me Tom Holland.
Right. It's like, okay, cool. Do the nod, then don't do it again.
Yeah. So. Like, I get it. Multiverse is a thing. Let's just get that out of the way and let's just move forward with this.
Yep. Good stuff. Awesome. Well, I wish you the best, and I will see you in the draft, sir. And we will keep up to date with all of your adventures going for Fan of the Year. And, hopefully we can see you pull out a win here, at least in the playoffs. So welcome to the league.
Hope so, too. Yeah, I appreciate you having me. I'm thankful to be a part of it, and I'm looking forward to the season.
Sounds good. All right. We'll catch you in the draft.
All right. Bye. All right. Bye, everybody.